Hi everyone, good morning. It's Margaret Manning here and welcome to 60 and Me. Good morning and welcome to a new day. Hope you're doing great this morning. I have been up for a while this morning. I couldn't sleep, so I was up really early before the sun came up, and I actually quite like that time of the morning. I don't know about you, but I find it just really so peaceful. And if I'm not too tired, if I've got 7 hours sleep, I'll just get up and make a cup of tea and sit, read a bit. Sometimes I'll meditate or write. But I just find I like the early morning. Are you a morning person or a nighttime person? I think we're often one of each. But anyway, I'm having I think this is the third cup of tea this morning, but it's my green tea. And it's really lovely. It's one of my favorites as always. But hope you got a cup of tea or coffee and you're feeling good. Just settle down for a little bit and just wanted to take you on a little trip down memory lane. Thinking a little bit about our legacy and documenting our lives. And writing, like I mentioned, I write sometimes in the morning, can be really cathartic. It can be a way to really put your life in perspective and just uncover things that where you didn't make connections. It's really a cool way to just tell your story, really. And one of our bloggers, Stephanie Raffelock, wrote a really nice little article about how to tell your story but not get overwhelmed by trying to write a book. Because how many books have you started to write in your life? It doesn't usually happen. But instead of writing a detailed book, just write a memory book. And put down in that book the things that have been highlights in your life and, where you've had to make decisions perhaps and how that decision took you somewhere. But it's based on really just documenting memories. And this is just one way of writing a memoir, writing a book of memories. But I think it just shines a light on, kind of where where we've been with our lives and where we're going. So she gives 6 really good steps for writing a memory book. And the first one is to live like a writer. Now, some people like Stephanie and many others they're just born writers. They just don't like life without writing. Their characters take them over in real life and they just have to be writing all the time. I'm not one of those people, but I do love reading and jotting down. I like to write, but in a different way. But anyway, she says, live like a writer. And this means bring a notebook with you everywhere you go, a notebook and a pen, and just pop it in your bag, just a small one. And everywhere you go, be an observer of the world. So a writer always is listening to conversation and watching engagement, watching how people are interacting with one another and just using their senses, like 100%. So for example, if you go to a cafe, you're sitting down there listening to the conversations around you. How are people really talking? Instead of trying to make it up in your own head. But just make a note of observations for listening. Smelling, you can smell the baked goods being, just freshly out of the oven, nice aroma, and the pain au raisin and the croissants, and they just taste, you can smell them, they just smell delicious. And then look around you, watch the world, watch how people are greeting each other. The hugs, the kisses, the shaking hands, just the engagement. So watch that, that sense of vision. And watch children playing. Watch them with their parents. I love watching little kids. I think they're so inspirational. I just love looking at their little eyes as they just look at the world. It's just wow. Everything is a wow. And I I just smile with them. I must look kind of silly, but get your writing prompts though from people and your senses, and of course hearing the sirens, the sounds, the laughter, maybe the tears. Just pay attention. I often it's a meditation technique that I just sometimes use where I just close my eyes and try to listen for what's close to me, and then go further and further out so I can hear even the cars on the street or maybe even someone talking, yelling or saying something. Anyway, so use your senses. That's the first thing. Second thing is to create a writing space. Now, you may have a desk or a table that you write on anyway, the place that you feel cozy, and maybe it's a chair in your living room where you just like to bring up your laptop and just work there. I'm actually, by the way, assuming here, as I was describing all of that, I was writing with a pen in a notebook, but you may like to just write on your, on your phone or on your computer. So just find a space, a favorite chair, and light a candle. Light a candle or some incense and just let this be a moment where you put what's immediately in front of you out of your mind and just go back to your memories. Nostalgia is very powerful on lots of levels, not just for writing, but for good brain health and I don't know, just sorting stuff out. It just seems like a good time to let those memories sink. But you know, maybe you have a favorite cafe. I have a little cafe close to me actually that I go to almost every day now. And maybe just for half an hour, I take my phone and my notepad, and sometimes I write, sometimes I don't. I get caught up in a visual. But anyway, find a place, a writing space. Listen to music sometimes. Now, this is, of course, something that has been proven by science as well, that music is a huge stimulator of memory. And this has been specifically proven with Alzheimer's patients. If you play them nostalgic music, they can remember words to songs, they can recognize people, they really start to come alive. Actually, there's a really beautiful film called, I think it's called Inside Alive. Dr. Bill Thomas was involved with it, and it basically went through the story of how music brings out this life that's still inside a patient. It's really, really wonderful. So, you know, listen to the songs maybe that you listened to when you were younger. You know, you got an old CD of, I don't know, Blondie or Cher or someone that, or go back further, you know, where you had a memory associated, like the Beatles, a memory associated with those people or that group. Maybe you had a crush on someone in that group. You know, it's just a matter of just identifying the music that touches a chord inside of you. Now, the other thing is to write at the same time every day. Now, I know all the great artists and authors of the world say this, you know, get up and write 1,000 words before you get out of bed. Just do it every day, and that's the way you write a book. And that's true, I think, of a memory book too. Is just if you get into the routine, like I do at 3 o'clock every day, I normally go to my little cafe. It's just a ritual, it's a habit. And they say habits are powerful for your brain. So I think that's a nice way to write that book, by just going to the same place, or maybe not the same place, but take the same time every day. Another thing that Stephanie recommends is to use a book of prompts. Now, I often pick up a book by Anne Lamott. I like Anne Lamott as a writer. She's crazy, very wild in her way she writes, and she inspires me. I also like Anne Gilbert, and I often watch a TED Talk. That's another way that I sometimes jog my memory. But the suggestion is to just find a writer or an author that just jogs your writing memory. For example, she talks about one called Old Friend from Far Away by Natalie Goldberg. That's Stephanie's book that she uses. And just kind of, she says it kind of inspires you to start mining in your memories. And I kind of like that image, but anyway, that's another thought, to have a book that inspires you. Just go back to it and pick it up, and and start to use that as an inspiration. Another thing is to write one memory a day for 100 days. This is an exercise. I think there was a project on this, and Stephanie says she uses it, and it's really wonderful. What if you were to compile all of your standalone memory pieces, just one a day? No rhyme or reason, no sequence, just every day. Write down a memory. I would love us to do this, actually. I think this could be super fun. But I'm, of course, not stressing about it. It's not homework. It's just an idea that, I think that as older women, though, wouldn't that be fun to do a one memory a day? We could write a book. It'd be really cool. But anyway, that's another suggestion that Stephanie has, and I think it's a good one. I've actually tried keeping a scrapbook and putting in a picture and a quote or like a thought every day. Did that for about a while ago, and it was very nice to look back at. I actually still do have it, and I look back on it and think, wow, those things were important to me at that time. It's so cool to see I worked them through, and I'm a new person, and that's kind of the power. And then finally, with these book of memories, think about events. Think about events that have really been milestones in your life. And of course, there's the big ones of having children. Those are pretty amazing. Moving to a new home, changing countries, maybe losing a friend, relocating to a new city or country. I said that. There's just things about events. Maybe there's simple things like a theater production or a concert. Just an event that stimulates a memory, and then write that in your memory book. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I mean, are you thinking of writing a memory book? Does it sound a lot easier than writing a book? I think it does. And it also, I think, sounds fun. And that's kind of all that we want to be doing these days. We are pleasure animals. We should be having pleasure in our lives. This is important. So I would love you to tell me your feedback on this. Have you written a memory book or a journal that you think would be interesting to share? And what events, people, or places would you put in your memory book? Just think about it. Well, I know I will put all you in my book as a group, because I'm so proud of this community. I love you all. I'm so happy that we're here together, often, and talking about things that are important to us. I really do hope that you have a fabulous day. Get out there and enjoy this beautiful world that we live in, despite all its flaws. Nothing's perfect. Let's make it amazing. And just take care of yourselves, and just tell me what events, books, what people and events might be in your memory book. And I look forward to seeing you all back here again very, very soon. Take good care for now. Bye-bye.